But these clients that you're serving, however, right? Has there ever been a point where you've had a client that was unmatchable or difficult or challenging?
Challenging, yes. Oh, for sure. Unmatchable, no. It's just, I think that one, if we're there to the point where they go, you're too unmatchable, let's dial back some expectations. Let's talk about compromises and really get into the heart of what you're looking for. And it's also a waiting game, right? Like just because I can't match you right now doesn't mean that I'm not going to go out there, recruit, find new people, or be in spaces that would have more closely aligned with the people you're looking for and doing that work, right? That's why a lot of times you come to a matchmaker is because you want somebody who's going to do the work for you.
Got it.
And so I won't say you're unmatchable. It just might take us a little bit longer.
And that's fair, but give me an example of one of the more, without naming any names, one of the more challenging clients you've ever had to deal with, and why were they challenging?
I have a client who is gung-ho on marrying an Ivy League educated doctor. And to the point where her mom has called me. Yes.
I'm shocked. So all your clients are challenging. Got it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, but to the point where like her mom will call me, like she's cried on the phone with me, like, Radha, you don't know how hard it is out there. My daughter's amazing. We just want this for our family. And I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, auntie, I get it. Like, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. On the other hand, I'm like, let's realign expectations. Where is this coming from? Why? Like, is it that's what you think that's being secure financially looks like for your family? Like, let's peel back some of these layers. Maybe you need to go through coaching and like realign expectations. Haven't been successful in changing kind of what their criteria are. But I think I've challenged her, at least conversationally, to rethink what she's looking for.
And how long has that process been going?
Over a year, probably. Yeah.
Over a year. And are they like frustrated at you, or are they just frustrated at themselves?
I think they're frustrated in them in general, not themselves or at me, because I'm not the only avenue that they're using. Obviously, there's a whole business behind matching people outside of just apps and matchmakers. There's classifieds, there's religious networks, there's a lot of other ways. So I think that I've heard from my client's mother, the exasperation is that they're trying everything, which is another reason I'm in my mind, I'm like, well, if you're trying everything, where do we think the problem is? Like I try to say it in a nice way. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like, if you're trying everything and nothing is working, there's something there. Right.
So basically, if you're doing everything, then what is the commonality of all the issues? Might be in what you're seeking. Well, that's where the compromise comes in. But you don't like using that word.
No, compromise is fine. I just want to paint it in a positive way, right?
Fair enough. Because you in sales right now.
But I truly believe it, Jeff. I'm not trying to sell anybody. I really believe it.
I'm being facetious, but let me ask you this: when you do make a positive match, right? Some people that get together, right? Whether it's you that's doing it for a non-traditional, Indian couple, or for another matchmaker doing it for an Indian couple, who's getting in an arranged marriage. How often are you following up with the couple post-marriage?
Probably nothing more outside of the annual kind of anniversary or congratulations message, because again, we're not in the coaching aspect of the relationship business. So for us, it's a success story. It's kind of like an OBGYN, right? Yeah, they delivered the baby. That's awesome. But now we're going to hand you off to a pediatrician, right? So there's different stages to a relationship, finding a relationship versus maintaining one. So I don't stay too involved afterwards, but I'm here as a friend always.
But the reason why I asked that is some of what you do is kind of like you're kind of projecting or predicting value for each partner, right? Mm-hmm. But in order to see it actualized, you kind of have to see it in action, right? In order to know if you did a good job or if you're like truly matching people for long term. because as we said earlier, sometimes you match people based on, not you, but sometimes people seek people based on where they're at right now. And then as things evolve, they realize they weren't really that compatible, right? And that could be for a number of reasons. But sometimes there are things you could have been able to predict or assess from the beginning to say, this would have never worked, right? And do you feel like if you had followed up with some of the partners who married, who are like suffering in silence, you might have been like, okay, moving forward, I'm not going to match people who XXX. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, in all candidness, I've been in business just over 3 years. So I don't think I've gotten to the stage where I've got couples that have been in multi-year relationships. So that probably might be why. But I like that idea, and I see where you're going with that. I think that there possibly could be more of an outreach or things that we could do. But also, if you think about it, right, if it's a successful, happy marriage and it's still in the first couple of years, do you really want to constantly be rehashing that with a matchmaker, or kind of like, I'm a stranger at the end of the day, right? I'm not your best friend. So I don't know. Maybe there's more there that I should do, but
I wouldn't say to do that with everyone, but kind of like get a sample size just to kind of like, do a self-check-in as a service, because I know like a lot of people get satisfied with the idea of just getting matched, getting married or engaged. But like if we're really putting people together for like long-term value in their relationships and in their lives, like I think it's very important to like really check what we're doing as a community as a whole, not just you or anything, but just to be like, okay, is this really adding value to the community? Is this really adding value to people? Because you yourself said that, when people were in arranged marriages, like they were suffering in silence. There was a lot of abuse, not in all scenarios, because there's success stories, but like there are some people where it's a stigma to get divorced. So they just tough it out. They don't know. Right. So I would say when someone's paying, I don't know how much do people pay for your services generally, or just in general for matchmaking, like in that community?
Yeah, we're one on the more affordable side because again, we're really trying to make it a modern approach to it.
Got it.
So it's nothing crazy. It's very affordable.
So it's very affordable, but in reality, it's still more expensive than a dating app, right?
Yes, it's going to be more expensive because you're paying for that personalized touch and that time, right? So a lot, you're getting so much of our dedicated time, and time is a commodity, and that's what we pay for.
Sure. So if it's a more expensive endeavor, that means they're investing a lot more. So if they're investing a lot, it might be harder for them to break away from that decision, especially after they've already married the person and so on and so forth. So I would, me personally, love to know how, what the Yelp review is for that marriage that was matched by somebody else. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah. So I will say I had a couple that broke off their engagement. And so I did an extensive deep dive with each of them afterwards to understand all of that.
Yeah.
And that came up more so from them telling me that they broke it off versus us checking in with them. So I agree. Maybe there is a better proactive way for us to continue to measure our success, even post relationship or post commitment. Yeah. I like that.
Especially if the couples that you did match that are success, if they can be champions or mentors of your new couples, right? So that way they're like, look at this community of happy couples that this company has cultivated. I definitely want to be a part of this. You know what I mean? And anyway, I'm
and community is what we strive for, right? So if you look at our website, we call ourselves a community of South Asian marriage-minded daters because we offer a lot more than just matchmaking. We're here to help you, commiserate with you to every aspect of your dating journey. Again, it's a journey. It's not a destination to get married. So we offer a lot of that. And even if we can't necessarily address it, I'm a connector by heart. I've got all these partners. We've got coaching partners. We've got therapist partners. I'm here to support you throughout your journey. So yeah, I definitely think that there's probably a follow-up. So continue supporting after that. We could probably incorporate that'll just serve as a feedback loop to make what we do as our main business even better and stronger.
I like that.
I'll take that as a takeaway, Jeff.
Yeah.